It's my Dragonite's Dragonborn. This is Dragonite here, aka Dragonborn. This is just, before the clip that I actually made before, doing the whole thing and stuff. I just want to end up apologizing. This was originally supposed to be coming out like 2 months ago, but things were happening constantly, and I couldn't at least finish in time. So, again, I'm just real sorry. I'll have to wait this long just to get done. And just get to, to watch this. I'm real sorry about that. Just stuff happened, and well, I had to let it delay. So again, this was like pre-post. I mean, this was like recorded like two months ago or something like that. So again, I'm real sorry about that. And now, hopefully, I'll be right back on schedule. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoy the intro and stuff. Greetings, my Dragonite's Dragon Warriors. This is Dragonite here, aka Dragonborn, reviewing, the Disney SNES Aladdin, which was basically one of my childhood games I actually had played, and have been possibly a couple more times, even now, just, emulating it now, but, it's been, and as usual, I want to at least, give it at least a general, honest thoughts and opinions about this game, and of course, and see is it really good to play or worth, and even just alone. We'll have to see. So enjoy. I hope that you definitely enjoy this review. Greetings, my Dragonite's Dragon Wars. This is basically a review of the SNES Aladdin. Basically that's what it sounds. Basically, this game is basically of the movies of the animation of Aladdin, and of course the live action Aladdin, which in my personal opinion is really good, and basically kind of follows the exact same formula, but there is a difference between this version and the next version. then the Genesis version, which basically this one is just basically a platformer. And it's both, and the Genesis is more like for an action type base. And with this one's basically, like I said, a platformer, which is to me a really good game. At least to me, it feels pretty good, since I have played this on the original NES, and I thought it was really fun, and it was basically one of my childhood games that I actually definitely mention. And there's not really much to say about plot-wise, because it's just still the exact same thing. You get the item, you get a scarecrow, which also leads into this genie bonus minigame, which is basically, I guess, just pure random what you want and what you do, and it's just random. You can get full hearts, you can get more XP, more continues. Basically, this is the SNES time, where we run on continues or 1-ups or a genie, which I hardly ever get as of late. And of course, Robin Williams, I hope your rest is basically a safe one. And basically, the only things I can really say about at least Aladdin, the SNES version, is just he doesn't actually have a sword. Yeah, I get people why some might say, oh yeah, Aladdin, the Genesis version, is basically, has a sword and it's a little bit better. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Aladdin in some way can defend himself, but there's nothing really much as I can really say, and that's just, that's the only two differences to me. I have played a little bit of the Genesis, and played a lot with the SNES version of Disney Aladdin. Basically, just nothing really much. That's really it just feels pretty good. And as around the world, at least around the game, you can collect these gems, and it can equal out a full, an extra life. An extra life, and that's what I noticed. But the red ones that you can if you can collect, it's basically will give you 100% completion bonus of these things. And honestly, it's really okay. And, you know, it's just basically, honestly, not really much to say about there. It's just one of those really good retro type games that, you know, can just sit down and play. And it is a short type of game. Yeah, it's just nothing really much there to say as much. And, you know, it's just really good. You know, it just kind of follows much of the story of basically the animation of Aladdin, and of course I know there's an anime series of Aladdin, but you know, from what I'm understanding, this is one, I mean, at least the two old, you know, retro games of Aladdin follow close to the plot of the original, not the original, but the, and basically the bosses in this game, it's just, you know, typical NES, you know, classic, you know, games like just find their correct patterns and, you know, find a little gimmick, then rinse and repeat. The bosses, not really that hard. Like this one right here, as you can see, it's just throw some apples, do the thing, then boom, you know, basically over. And of course, it's actually really good to, you know, come back to one of these levels like the Cave of Wonders, as you're seeing right now. Yeah, I'm not really good at collecting every single gem or collecting every single one. And of course I was playing this on an emulator, which still warrants really good in my personal opinion. And of course you get, and there's some things, at least health-wise, that can actually help you, you know, increase your health. You know, like a chicken gives you full, a bread, as you can see, or saw was give you a quarter, or whatever the case is. And you know, it just, I always feel like this one is, in my personal opinion, really good. And of course, sometimes you gotta get a little creative, get the scarecrows, or scarecrows, I say scarecrows, squirms, I forget whatever you want to call those golden bugs that fly around. I know some may say, oh well, this is how you pronounce it in the comments below. And another thing is, with this one, I think it's really cool, since I already collected, you know, the red gems, I don't have to collect it again on the second time after I die. To me, I think that, to me, that's really good. And, you know, so, and to me, it just feels feels in general a really good game in general. Yeah, the graphics today has been in it because it's not really much now. I personally think this game has aged well, in my personal opinion. And, you know, just hearing the music is really good. As I might probably play some here in a minute or two. But still, I enjoyed, you know, much of this game. You know, just constantly come back, replay it again and again and again. It's just one of those fun retro games that I definitely like to play whenever, you know, I just want to, you know, calm down, you know, just take some time off, or whatever the case is. It's just, that's what I always felt about this game. And of course, this is where, basically, right after the end of the lamp, this is where this music really kicks up and tells you, like, yeah, you're in it for now, for a little bit. And honestly, I think that this is really cool that they brought all kinds of stuff like this in the movie. Now, of course, as you can see right here, at least in this, as you can see right here, when I was a little kid, like, that lava to me looks like, kind of like, you know how, basically, to me, you know, I don't know if anybody actually made this as a kid or still make it today. It's called Potatoes and Gratin, and to me the lava looks like cheese to me. So, you know, I just want to at least, you know, mention about that, because to me it looked like you know, cheese, you know, melted cheese. But, and of course, this is where basically it comes suffering, like, you know, going to one side to the other. You got to get out of there. And then basically, just like in the original, and that's where it's just like, you know, you gotta get out. Period. There's no ifs or buts. You gotta get out there. Now, there is a couple of other levels, like this one right here, which is Genie's, you know, lamp, basically, which has not been into the movies, as far as what I understand. And it's just, you know, really catchy. You know, just really good, you know, upbeat, take, friends like me and kind of switch it up a little bit. And also what's really cool here too, like if you die, which I end up showing for some time, is basically, like you see right there, they're all gone. But before I forget, there is some enemies that's been reskinned, as you can see, like chicken and faces. I don't know what's up with that or what's the case. It's just odd to me, best way of saying it. And and of course I wasn't really have much here, and of course I actually died. And this is where you gotta keep your, I guess, parachute, I guess what you may call it, since I lost a parachute. And that's just, and there are 2 levels in this game. And of course in here's basically of a relaxing part of the game, of a whole new world, and basically how things basically this is where it kind of chills for you. And it just feels really good, feels really nice just to relax and take a moment and breathe through and just have a good time. And to me, this is like one of the levels I definitely like. There is another level in the game, it's called, which is basically the pyramid level, which is basically a different level from the lamp one, but still pretty good. So that's what I think. And here we are with basically the final boss, which is, well, Jafar. And basically what Jafar's moves is basically let him drop his cane, throws a couple lightning bolts, grab some chicken pots, basically rinse, basically just reskinned up the pot wise, but same thing. Or just rinse and repeat this fight. It's not really hard. It just reminds me of of Super Mario Bros. And a little bit later in the second fight, it's basically where where some reason game lags. And of course this fight is really easy to simply say too, because the fact is this one is jump on the head, have those orbs or rocks. I don't know what you call them, but I'm going to just say rocks, since that's basically what it is. Do that 3 or 4 times and basically that's it. This is where I wish they definitely added a sword here. If they're going to do a remaster, please add a sword at least to this fight, so that way at least Aladdin has something to defend himself mostly. So that's why I just want to at least mention. Right after basically Jafar's defeated and been sent to the Cave of Wonders, it's basically right here. It's just your typical Disney happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Genie gets a happy ending, Jasmine gets a happy ending. Everybody, at least in this game, gets a happy ending, just like in the original. Now, of course, they had to, tweak it a little bit, from, the ending of the movie to, of the game-wise. And of course, I think they definitely did it in the Genesis version too. Don't worry, I'll definitely pick up that and definitely review it, hopefully time soon. So, that's basically, what I can at least mention, because honestly, I personally love Aladdin. At least the SNES version of the game. And, I think it's really good, And of course, everybody needs a happy ending, to basically a kid's game, And I think it's definitely at least a good, way to sit, to basically, end at least, of the game-wise. And sadly, there's nothing really much here from Aladdin. So, basically my final thoughts of Aladdin. The SNES, I think it's definitely work of art. Yes, it's a short game. You can beat it like in 2 hours because of the SNES of that feeling. Probably definitely improve at least a little bit game-wise. Get a little, probably a little, other stuff here. and so on and so forth. In my gameplay, there were 18 deaths, all 4 bosses defeated, 6 stages cleared, 1 hour and 15 minutes of 5 minutes of playtime, 2 lives continue, and this is what you get if you completed all, of 40 gems. So, and this is basically the secret ending of the game. Honestly, I think it's definitely worth it, in my personal opinion, just to play and have a little fun. And I personally think this is definitely, at least this version. Now you can, if you don't get something, at least in the other, of the other ones, you get their normal ending, which is, I guess, okay. Alright, my Dragon Knights, Dragon Wars, this is Dragon here, aka Dragonborn, and of course, I had a scorecard. I still give it, an honest rating. And basically, how Aladdin is, I can definitely say in general, at least the SNES, and of course when it comes, well, I definitely have the, the Genesis remastered of Aladdin, which I end up going to review sometime a little bit in the future, and hopefully that, basically, I still give my honest thoughts and opinions, and of course that'll be for another video for another time, as always. And again, this is like one of those short games, and it was like before it, at least when, like technology as it is today. So, alright, enough of that rambling. I'll still want to give this game a rating. And as always, my Dragon Knights, Dragon Wars, I give the Disney Aladdin SNES Rebirth it. Thank you, my Dragon Knights, Dragon Wars. This is Dragon Knight here, aka Dragonborn, and I hope that you definitely enjoyed this review. And as always, if you have made it this far, put in the comments below Dragon Family 41, so that way I know that you have made it to the end of the video, and I definitely hope that you definitely enjoy. Thank you very much for, again, for at least watching the, my videos and stuff. So I'm not going to end up pulling up the time. So anyways, my Dragon Knight, Dragon Wars, this is Dragon Knight here, aka Dragonborn, signing out, and farewell for now, my Dragon Knights and Dragon Wars.